let the students ask you questions. Unit 1, Unit 2, Chapter 1, 2, 3. Where's Jaleesa? I don't see Jaleesa on here. That is the detention officer. Maybe still coming on. Okay. That's all yours. The floor is yours. Tina, you may go ahead.
Good day, guys. I am Tina Dolly, one of your tutors for this year. I hope we will work wonderfully this year. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. So okay, thank you. Before we start, I would like to state a few things. I'd like to say that we, as tutors, will not be introducing something new. We will just be providing assistance on what was already taught. So in tutorials, you have to ask questions about what you find difficult in understanding and whatsoever. And I want you guys to be comfortable enough to ask those questions and know that there are no stupid questions. You can ask whatever. And if you're shy, you can hit me up on WhatsApp and ask any questions. Thank you. Tando, are you going to introduce yourself now?
Hi, can you guys hear me now? Oh, is
Yes, we
it still
can.
bad?
Tando,
Oh,
Tando,
okay.
that is so much better. Can hear you, can hear.
Okay then. Hello everyone. My name is Tando, and I will be your BCA tutor for 2022. I hope we'll work well together. I just want to let you guys know that you should take things easier. Go through your recordings, do your work on time. Yeah, that's all I can say. So my available time is from 9 o'clock until 7 p.m. I do not accept any video call, only for WhatsApp calls as well as WhatsApp messages. Can respond if I'm free, because I'm also a student. I'm doing my third year, so I'm currently busy. But yeah, I'm happy that we are all here. Like the numbers, the attendance, it's quite good compared to last year one. So yeah, welcome guys to your first year at CPUT.
Hi guys, are you prefer to chat in the chat box? Are you guys winning? Can I leave the chat? Let me know, Tina and Pandu.
So I'm gonna try to share a document.
Okay, so you know share. You click on the share button at the bottom, and then you can go to share application and your whole screen, and then your document will open. That little arrow to the right.
Sorry, which arrow on the right? Oh, that one.
Hi, Tina. Go right to the bottom of your screen. You will see a chat
Yes,
box.
sir.
You'll see the attendees. There's a little share content.
Okay, so I can see it now.
You got it? Can you see the
Yeah,
share content? Once you click
the
on the
share
share
application
content,
here.
there we go. Share application screen. Are you coming right here? Don't worry, students. The tutors are still finding their feet, just like all of us is. They're going to open up something for you now. Semester 1 is theory only. That's correct. There we go. Your screen has been shared now. So I can
Okay,
see it,
so
and I'm sure the students can see it too.
can we start here, Tando?
That is perfect. I think you got it rolling. Can I leave, guys? Do you still need me? Let me know.
Okay. No, so I think I'm gonna experience load shedding at half past, but I'm not sure yet. So my Wi-Fi is probably gonna go down.
Okay, I'll hang around a bit in the background. All right.
Okay, so
I'll take
thank
over.
you.
Okay, Tandu. Tandu, must I leave or can I leave? Or do you still need me? Let me know.
Say, I think you can leave. If we need you, I will just text you on WhatsApp. If there's a
You
lot,
can.
if she has a lot wedding, I will take over. It's okay.
No, that was perfect. Give me a WhatsApp if anything, then I can just join in again if there's a problem. All right.
Okay, sir.
Tutors,
No problem.
students, take note. Listen to the tutors. Have a good time. And I'll see you guys. We'll chat soon. Okay, I'm gonna leave. Cheers.
Okay, so thank you. Tando. How should I start? You start.
Hey, Tina, you can start.
Okay, thanks. Okay, guys, I will start with information systems in business. Does anyone want to try to explain what that is? Can you please turn on one of you guys turn on your marks and try to explain? So, okay, I'll do it. The needs of the business. It is an integrated set of components for collecting, Does anyone want to answer? Yes, I see there. You can turn on your mic.
Okay, hello
Okay.
guys. Information system in businesses is a system that business uses for collecting, storing, and processing its data, and for providing information and knowledge and digital products about the business. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nasirin. So those are the daily where the daily uses of information systems. I would like to make an example about groceries and retail stores. You see, when you're paying at Pick and Pay or Woolworths, then you use your loyalty cards or your My Woolworths school cards. That's a type of information system where the system is actually collecting the data about its customers, and businesses can monitor and control the stock, and it can perform stock analysis. No one has any questions so far? Okay. So we go to computer literacy and information literacy. Do you guys want to give it a try and try to explain? Yes, Sibongile.
I think computer literacy is how you are, how you learn all about the computer itself, and then information literacy is learning about the information itself, like the data and everything.
Can you please rephrase the information literacy parts?
I was
Yes,
saying,
Asibe.
I was saying that literacy is understanding how the computer works, and then the information literacy is knowing about the information and data.
Basically, what you're saying is that computer literacy and information literacy are linked together.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They need each other.
Okay, okay, Asibe. Okay, can Asibe go?
Computer literacy, it's where you have the knowledge and ability to use computers and technology related efficiently, about like familiarize and experience with the computers and stuff. Then information literacy is whereby we have the ability to find, evaluate, and organize and communicate information. Like all in all, it's most notable in situations where it requires decision making and problem solving. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Who was answering earlier on? Can I get your name? Was it Abongile
Sibongile.
or Sibongile?
Sibongile.
Sibongile. Okay. Sibongile, when you're saying that computer literacy and information literacy are linked, and they are not. They
Yeah.
are two different things. Information literacy is understanding like anything that that not necessarily it must be what's this? It must be computer related. It can understand like an essay. It's basically understanding what you're given, maybe an essay or a book or anything. Do you understand?
No, okay.
Okay. You do understand?
So the computer part was right, whereby you understanding how like
Yeah,
the
you were.
computer works and everything.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you were right. It's understanding the computer knowledge, which buttons to use, what, yeah, and computer systems, yes.
No, okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. We will go to the next part, which is transaction processing systems. Does anyone want to take a go at this one? Sorry. So I'll explain what transaction processing system is. It is a type of information system. Okay. Please explain the information literacy. So basically, information literacy is the ability to find, evaluate, organize, and communicate information. It's basically when you're given an essay, it's where when you can read the essay with understanding, know what is being said there, and you can answer questions based on that essay. Do you understand, Inga? Yes, Inga, you can.
If you do not mind, can you please make examples of information literacy because I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay, you don't understand the one I'm trying to make of you being
Yes,
given an essay in communications, and the lecturer ask you to write a report on that essay. It's information literacy, whereby you will have to understand what is being said there and be able to answer questions that will be asked. Do you understand, Inga?
that's why Kalok Ngisiti, that's why I'm saying that. Can you please do an example? Maybe I'll understand because your definition
Besides the one
seems
I'm giving,
I can't hear you.
besides the one besides that one,
I really don't understand.
you don't understand. Tanda, can you like try to explain to her? Let's wait for Tanda. Maybe she can or one of you guys can try to explain to Inga. Oh, give Inga examples. Yes, Bongile and yes, Asive, you
Oh,
can.
I actually have a question. Are you talking about TPS or just
No,
transaction?
no, we're back to information literacy now because she does not
Oh,
understand.
oh, okay.
Okay, thanks. Tando, can you please help me with defining information literacy to Inga? Inga, Tando will type it out, so I'll continue with TPS. Inga, you're okay with me continuing?
It's fine. You can continue, of course.
Sure. So I did ask about, do any of you know or want to try to explain TPS for us? Yes, Sibongile.
A TPS is a transaction processing system which applies to structured tasks such as record keeping and like simple operations and inventory controls. And examples of it is like the cashier,
Mm-hmm.
like where you go to pay off your stuff. I don't know if I'm
Okay.
making sense.
Yeah, you are making sense. I fully understand what you're trying to explain, and was gonna explain it in that way also. So I'm gonna read out the definition I wrote, which is quite similar to see this definition that you wrote in the chat box. My Yes, it is. My definition is, it is a type of information system that collects, stores, modifies, and retrieves data transaction of a business. So it has process activities, TPS, which are data capturing. Usbongile try to explain when one of us is trying to pay at the till, the whether it's we are buying bread, then the data is being captured to the business. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to explain with data capturing? Okay, thank you, Sishay. Uh, then it's data capturing, then data validation. Data validation, I would explain it as it means that the TPS runs tests that includes checking for that check. Sorry, that data validation means that the TPS runs tests that includes checking for missing data items, valid codes, and valid values. Basically, when you arrive at the till, yeah, maybe wait, let me make an example of checking the for missing data items. We all know that there are people at shops or at retail stores who steal food or steal items of clothes. So what the TPS will do at the end of the month, it will run a test that will check all the items that we have sold, and it would and the what's the word, the stock on hand. Then it will calculate the missing items from that. Am I making sense? Okay, thank you. And yes, Lungi.
Can I just add something? So when the people in the store who does stock taking, like buys stock, then the TPS automatically gets the product's information. No?
Yes.
Yeah, and then whenever you go buy, it like ticks off that it's not in the store anymore.
Yeah, it's sold. Yeah.
Something like that, that it's like sold. And then what about like when people steal?
still, like theft.
I mean, like at the door, the security measures. Yeah, doesn't that have anything to do with TPS?
It doesn't.
Okay.
Sure. Can I continue? Thanks. Yes, Inga.
I'm still asking Miss Tando akandilibelanga.
Tando. Is Tando in the session? Inga, can you send me a text on WhatsApp? After the session, I'll try my best to explain what it is.
No problem,
You know?
Nkos. I can't wait.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, we're done with this one. And now we're going to Management Information System, which is MIS. Do any one of you want to explain it or know about it or what? So must I explain it myself? Okay. Yes, Ayabonga.
Sorry, ma'am. I would say it is a information system that is used for decision making, the controlling, and the analysis of the information organization.
That's correct. That's correct. Thank you, Ayabonga. Is there anyone else who wants to try? Okay, I'll explain it. So, MIS is a computer system consisting of a hardware and a software that serves as a backbone of an organization's operation. MIS is an information system that is used for decision making, coordination, control, and analysis of information in the organizations, as Mr. Ayabonga just said. Do you guys know? Yes, Ayatandwa. Ayatandwa, you can turn on your mic. Ayatandwa, let me lower your hand. So, guys, do you know of any advantages of the MIS or disadvantages? You can type them out, or you can raise your hand and speak. Yes, Sibongile.
It gives the business a competitive advantage.
Yeah, thank you. That's correct. Does anyone else want to try? Yes, Miss Moyani. Yeah,
It improves
you
the
can
data
speak.
accuracy.
Can you please repeat that? I can't hear
It
you.
improves the data accuracy.
Oh yeah, thank you. That's correct. Does anyone else want to try?
Sorry, ma'am. The advantage, I would say, it minimizes information of overload, né? And then another advantage, it makes control easier.
Yes, thanks, Mr.
Yeah,
Ayabonga.
and then the disadvantage, I would say, effectiveness decreases due to changes of top management.
Can you please repeat that?
I would say, ma'am, it it decreases effectiveness due to frequent changes in top management.
Oh yeah. Okay, thank you, Ayabonga.
Okay.
There are many advantages and disadvantages. Yeah. Yes, Miss Moyani. Miss Moyani, please turn on your mic. We can't hear you. Miss Moyani, can you please type your answer in the chat box because we can't hear you. As I was saying that management information systems has a lot of advantages and disadvantages. So we will continue with chapter 1. Okay. We've done this. We are here now at major components of an information system. Does anyone want to try to explain component number 1, which is data? Does anyone want to try to explain data as a component of, yeah, yeah, Super say 2, you can turn on your mic.
Can you hear me?
Super, you can go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. I'd say data is an input or raw facts component of an information system. Is that right?
Yes, you are. Yeah, you are correct.
Um,
Miss Asif, were you speaking? Miss Asif, you may speak. If regards you are correct also.
Data the data component of information system is regarded as an input, and generally there are two sources of data, which is internal and external sources. An information system should collect data from both of these sources.
Oh, sorry, Abel. I will try to slow it down. Yeah, Asif, you were saying?
I was saying each data component of information system is regarded as an input, and generally there are two sources of data, which is internal source and external sources. So an information system has to collect the data from both of these sources. Can you hear me?
Okay, thank you. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you. So you guys, yes, that's correct. You guys are all right. So data in information system can be described as unprocessed figures. Basically, data is the raw material that is organized and structured and interpreted to create useful information. Acevedo has stated that there are two types of data, which is internal and external. Can you try to explain one of these guys? Yes, Acevedo.
In
Not for
internal
the
in internal data, in internal,
Wait, can you please wait a
can I
bit?
speak?
Wait, before you speak. Do you guys hear me
Sorry.
properly? Like, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Miss Luwane, can you hear me? Okay, Asibe, you can go ahead.
As I was saying, there are two sources of data. We have internal and external. So in internal, we're going to record things that are happening within the business. Then external, we're going to record things that are happening outside the work environment. So in internal, we're going to record e-sale records and e-personnel records, of which is based on e-employees when they were employed and when did they resign. Then in external records, it includes we're going to record things about the customers, the competitors, and the suppliers, and also economic conditions and so forth. Thank you.
Yes, Asibe, in course, that's correct. Thank you. So internal data is data that is collected from reports and records of of the organization. For example, when a company publishes its annual reports on loss and profits, total sales, wages, that's internal data. Hope you guys can hear me and I'm not going fast. And external data is when data is collected from sources outside the organization. For example, government publications and syndicate services. Can I continue now? Do we understand the data part? And can I continue? And no one has any questions. Okay, thank you guys. After data is database. Please explain database for me. Anyone? Can I have someone to explain database to me? Yes, database.
Ma'am, I'd say the database is where the raw data or information, or let's say raw data, is stored and converted into valuable information that we can use. Thank you.
I couldn't hear you. Can you please go again?
I'd say the database is where the raw data is stored and converted into information that we can find useful and use. Thank you.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you so much. No one wants to try before I give out my explanation. Yes, for say true.
Sorry, ma'am. I would say it is the collection of structured information, data, and typicals, and stored electronically in a computer system.
Yes. Lungani. Yeah, thank you. Was it Ayabonga?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Lungani, you can go ahead.
Oh, sorry, ma'am. A database is an organized collection of data stored and accessed electronically. If my, that's my point, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. That's correct. Yeah. All the definitions you given us, guys, were correct. So let's go to let's continue. Oh, before we continue, there's this thing. Does anyone? Yes, Inga. Inga.
Um, when you're done with the class, can you please post these notes or these slides?
Which slides? The one? These slides.
The one that the one ezosebenzisa abawusifundisa.
Oh, these are my own notes that I prepared.
Can you please post them because it is as simple as right?
The thing is, I wrote them down, so I have to type them out.
Okay,
So I'll
please type
try
them.
though. I'll try.
Okay, sure.
Not promising anything, but I'll try.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Um, lower your hand. Um, before we move on, there's this thing called database management system. Do any of you want to try to explain what database management system is? No one, okay. Database management system is a software package designed to define, manipulate, retrieve, and manage data in a database. Examples of database management systems are Microsoft, Access, and MySQL. Did you guys hear me? Should I continue? Am I going too fast? Or do you have any questions? Okay, I must repeat. Okay. I was saying that data database management system is a software package designed to define, manipulate, retrieve, and manage data in a database. So those who were explaining data earlier on told us that data base is where we the data, the raw data is organized and structured to electronically to make to make um, to make information to help the business. So then the system that is used to do that is database management system. Do you guys understand? Do you guys understand? Okay, thank you. Uh, do you guys know of any advantages of database? and disadvantages. Guys, do you know any database advantages and disadvantages? Okay, Dando. So I'll read them out. The first one, the first advantage is that database improves data sharing, it improves data security, and it minimizes data inconsistency. The disadvantages is that it will increase the cost of the business, and it needs to be frequently upgraded or changed, and it is a complex management thingy. Like it's very complicated to use it. That's correct. Makes information easy to use. Yes, very lots of things. That's correct. Ryogazi, can you please explain to us how the information is ready to use? Easy to read. Ryogazi. Okay, we'll continue now. Okay. The next point is process and in information systems. Do you guys want to explain it? Asebe, you may speak.
Okay. The purpose of the information systems process is to generate the most useful type of information for decision making.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Asebe. Does anyone else want to try? Is Tando still in the session? Because I might experience load shedding now. Tando. Okay. Can you take over? Because I might like experience a load shedding this hour. Or you have a problem with your mic.
Hey, Tina, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Tina, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay.
can. So must I stop record yours, stop sharing my screen, then you can share yours. Tando.
Hey Tina, where are you currently? I
I
mean
am
the
yeah.
work that you were sharing.
Excuse me?
Database.
Yeah,
Database.
we are here in process.
Okay. Okay.
Should I stop sharing my screen? Then you can share yours.
Um, yeah, I think you can, but then I also have a load shedding at 6, but then it's 3 minutes past. So I'm not sure if my Wi-Fi is gonna go off, but
Okay.
then you can stop.
How do I stop sharing? Tando? When I stop here, I'll stop sharing here.
There should be. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Sure. Tando, can you please share your screen for us?
Hey Tina. Okay, I will share now.
Tando? Tando, can you my there was load shedding Wi-Fi. Stopped.
Good evening, tutors. It's Mr. Smuts. Are you there? Are you battling with load shedding?
Hello, sir. I have load shedding. I'm connected with my phone and it's still loading.
Okay. Let's give it a minute or two. I just dropped in
Okay.
to say hello and see how it's going. I like some of the answers to the questions, students. You are finding the right information, and that's what we're looking for. That's what's going to give you good marks in an answer. While we're waiting, are there any questions from what has been discussed that I can help answer? You can type in the chat box or you can speak. It's fine, no problem. Guys, I did see when I joined just now that we were discussing databases and the advantages and disadvantages of a database. And I think the one, if you get an exam question on this, the one that you want to remember the most as an advantage or a disadvantage is security. And the one thing you want to do is, you know about the POPI Act, we've spoken about it before, and you want to keep that data secure. It's confidential information, and banking information would be confidential. I have a question here. Can you explain a distributed database management system? Yes, I can. I am unable to share my screen, so I'm going to have to talk. Only moderators can share their screen. But it is a distributed database. Instead of having one server running, for example, Microsoft SQL or IBM DB2 or something like that, you would have various servers in different regions. So you could have one in Johannesburg, one in Durban, one in Port Elizabeth, and one in Cape Town, and they are linked via a network. And each one will either store a whole copy of the database that they would replicate to each other, share with each other, or each one can store a piece of the database. To the user, it looks what we call transparent. If I say something is transparent, it means the user does not know that that data is distributed across the country. To them, when they are using an app, such as Microsoft SQL Server, it will look like that data is all in one place. Disadvantages of a database. Okay, you're making me think here a bit. I don't have my notes in them. But a disadvantage of a database is, namely the main one, is you have to maintain this. You have to pay for it. You have to upgrade it. It may not be compatible with some of the software packages you are using or some of the software packages that you have bought. So that would be the main disadvantage. Another disadvantage of a database is, and I am not strictly following the textbook. We are doing this cognitively. So another disadvantage of a database, let's take a look. Okay, the first one I mentioned is incompatibility with software that you're going to use. The second one could be security breaches, could happen. The disadvantage of a database is that you have to, it is a lot more expensive depending on the package that you buy. So cost could be a disadvantage as well. Any student who has notes in front of them would like to chip in there? How many do they normally ask you in a question? It's probably going to be about 3. So very few of the things do we ask you to name everything. For example, the only examples where we would ask you to answer everything would be something like Porter's 5 forces model. Then you would be expected to know 5. But when it comes to generic databasing, there are many answers, and a lot of them are not even in the book. They're in your head. That will be correct. So probably 3 that you can think of, the same as I am thinking of them now. Any other questions, guys? Let's go back. Let's go back quickly just while we waiting. I know there's load shedding on and the tutors are struggling. So I'm here. I don't have load shedding. I see there's 67 of us online. The screen is blank because the tutor is trying to connect and show the data. So it's just taking a little bit of time. That's why I'm talking in the meantime. I am unable to share my screen because I'm not a moderator. I can try and change that setting just now if it becomes a problem. But what I want to do now is just while we're talking and while we're thinking, I just want to go back to today's lesson. And what did we cover? What did we cover today? So if we think about it, we did chapter 3. What was chapter 3 about? Anybody got any ideas? Well, the one thing is databases, definitely, and database systems and database engines. Does it show as the moderator? Let me have a look here. Share application screen. I actually can share mine. Okay, what I'm going to do, guys, then is I'm going to share my screen. And we can carry on a bit because it looks like the tutors have disappeared. Are the tutors still here? Anybody? Can you see my screen, guys? Yes, data and business intelligence. BI is a very big one. Okay, information is a very big one. Thank you. Data warehouses, data mart, and business analytics. Critical. That is an excellent answer. Remember, data warehouse is the bigger of the two. A data mart is smaller and faster. That would be an advantage of it. And it is more specific in its information. We also did discuss big data, but you don't need to know too much about it, except that big data is, the definition of it is that it is too big to process on normal computers. So they use specialized techniques in order to process big data. So yes, I'm getting some excellent answers here of what we covered today. What I can do, I see the tutors are maybe on load shedding because they've disappeared. So I will carry on a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Blackboard and I'm going to have a look at content. I'm going to go to where we were today during class, and I'm going to go to unit, where are we? I want unit 2, MIS 10.
Hi, sir.
Hello? Was there a question?
That's me, sir, man. I'm saying hello. I'm back in.
Hi, hello, Mr. Pretorius. Yeah, the
Man.
tutors are on load shedding. They've disappeared.
Yes, the tutors just told me now they're on load shedding, so they said Mr. Smuts is there, so I thought I'd come pop in and just be with you a little. Okay.
That's fine. what I'm going to do is I'm going into chapter 3. We've had some excellent answers on the chat.
Sir.
If you can just monitor the chat, Mr. Pretorius, students, I'm going to talk for maybe 15 minutes. What time is the session due to end? Mr. Pretorius, what time is the session due to end?
I think it's from 5 o'clock to 6:30, so we got about 8 minutes left, sir.
Okay. What I'm going to do, students, is chapter 3 slides. I'm going to open them on my machine. and they are in PDF format. Let's have a look how many there are. There are quite a few. You obviously are not, I'm not going to go through every single slide. Look at this. This is like crazy, man. Hectic. So you need to now, as a student, be selective. Say to yourself, okay, in these slides, what do I need to know? And yes, module 3 was on data and business intelligence. The data side were the databases we were discussing, the definition of a database, the way a database works, and whatever else you can find in the book, and business intelligence, and I would like to add here business analytics. Business analytics is a subset of business intelligence, or BI. If I'm scrolling through the slides here, the learning objectives are what is critical for you guys. So what I would do when I'm studying for an examination is I would like to look at my learning objectives at the beginning of each slide. I know we've got the notes that also contain the learning objectives, but these are critical to answering exam questions. Define a database. And what is a DBMS, database management system? Okay, it's a set of something. Explain a logical database design and relational database model. Relational database model I showed you earlier on today in terms of access, with tables with relationships between them. Please have a Google at that. Define 5 components of a database management system. We'll find that in the slides just now. Summarize 3 recent trends, not too critical there. Explain 4 major components and functions of a data warehouse, and how do we use a data warehouse for business? Well, we use a data warehouse with internal and external data, if you recall, and we are going to use it for business intelligence and prescriptive and predictive analytics. There's actually 3 types of analytics. Can anybody remember all 3? Mr. Pretorius, is it there? You're monitoring the chat. I can't see the chat.
Yes, sir. How does BCA textbook look like, and where can I buy it? Look on your blackboard.
Okay. It's on Blackboard. You can buy it at Van Skyke bookstore. It's called MIS 10. It is in your study guide. They will give you the ISBN number, and that is on Blackboard. So you need to go to Blackboard and you need to have a look down the side there to find the information that you're looking for. There is not anything in this course that we will tell you that is not on Blackboard. Okay, functions of a data mart as opposed to a data warehouse, which is bigger. Business analytics, which I've just been speaking about. Advantages and challenges of big data. Not so much, guys. It doesn't really come up in this course. It's more of a second year topic, but as long as you can describe to me what is big data. And then Power BI, which I think we can take a look at. But I want to move on here through the slides. Here we go. Here's a nice one. What is this? Interaction between a user, a database management system, and a database. So what is this diagram telling us? Well, we have here our user and we have the database on each opposite end. The database is nothing but data. It is stored in tables. The database management system is the piece of software that we talk about, such as IBM and Oracle, that comes between the user and the data in order to help you do something with it. So we can do searches, we can retrieve information. Once you have done that, the database management system will return that information to the user. So be aware of the bi-directional aspect of this drawing. It's going from the user through the DBMS to the database. from the database back to the user in terms of functions. So please be aware the DBMS and the database are actually two separate things. The database is all the data that we're storing. The database management system is actually the engine that's going to help you speak to the user. Types of data, internal, external, yes, we did discuss that. I'm not going to go for sequential and random access file structure. It's not critical for your course or ISAM. We spoke briefly about logical database design. Just please be aware, and you don't have to know too much about this, but the fact that there is a physical view of the data and a logical view. The physical view is how it is actually set up on servers and so on and so forth. And the logical view is a theoretical model that we use when you design the database. And you can create from a physical view a logical view. Say I've got 10 tables and I only want the user to see 2 of them because some of that information is sensitive. I can set up the database so that the user only sees those 2 tables. That is called a logical view. Integrity rules. Integrity means that the data does not become corrupt. Okay, the types of databases. Now, we do in this course, and please don't forget, we do the relational model. So these are old models that they are showing you here, and they are just showing you the history of a database. I showed you an Excel spreadsheet today, which looked like the following. Open Mr. Excel. He already is open at the bottom there. This is called a flat file. This Excel is a form of table. So there is all my information stored of my vehicles and the costs and the prices and so on, descriptions and so on. So what you're looking at here could be a database table. I'm going to minimize that and I'm going to go back to my slideshow. So that would be one table that I've just shown you. This would be another, this would be another, this would be another. And then we have here what they call siblings. It's not too important to understand the hierarchical model. It's old and they don't use it anymore. It has a hierarchy of tables. And it is a very complicated model. And it is slow, it has disadvantages. But if you are able to draw this and just explain that it is redundant, that means old and not used anymore. Network model has got nothing to do with a distributed database management system. Don't get confused between the two of them. But again, they are showing you tables and the types of relationships in those tables. The relational model, yeah boy, here we go. This is what we are doing in this course. It uses a two-dimensional table of rows and columns. A row is called a record, and a column is called a field. Let me show you that quickly in Access that we are going to use. I'm going to open Microsoft Access here. I'm going to open a table. Let me open a nice one. There we go. We have some names here. I know it's very difficult for you guys to see. It must be very small on your screen, but a whole row. So from left to right, the row is called a record. The column, such as employee ID and last name and first name and street address, is called a field. So they're just giving them different names. Instead of row and column, it's called a record and a field. That is what they are speaking about. A record is also known as a tuple. Don't let that confuse you. Go back to my slideshow. Rows are records, also known as tuples. Don't worry about that. We're not going to use that word. And then columns are fields, and fields have attributes. When I say attributes, it can be house number or street number. Street number 10 would be an example of an attribute. Data dictionary is nothing more than information about information. It's stored inside the database, and it is a data type. We don't have time today to go into data types, but to give you an example, we can have number, text, currency, all of these different things. You can specify in a database that it must be a number, and it can't be longer than 5 digits, or it can be a text or currency, and so on. Primary keys and foreign keys, we will still explain to you guys. There will be no question on a primary key and a foreign key in the upcoming test, as far as I know, not more than this slide. Normalization is actually sorting the tables. It gets rid of extra data. We only store information once in that database. So what I'm saying, for example, is somebody's surname will not be stored in one table, and then their surname be stored in another table, and then their surname be stored in another table. This is why we create relationships. And we create the relationships between the primary and foreign keys. I'll explain now. So you would store that surname once in one table in that database. And you would use your relationships between the tables to extract all of the information. Now, an example of a primary key, if I just go back here quickly, I didn't really want to dismiss that. It uniquely identifies every record or tuple in a database. Now, my explanation of a primary key. How does the university know you guys? By your student number. How does your bank know you? Well, by your bank account number. How does the government know you? By your ID number. And each of those can be regarded as what we call a primary key. It is unique. No two people should have the same bank account number. No two people will have the same ID number. Well, unless somebody's stealing your identity, no two people are going to have the same ID number. And your student number uniquely identifies. So you as a person would be a record in the bank's database, and your primary key would identify you. And it is normally the first column or field in a table. A foreign key is just that primary key that shows up in another table. We will get to that when we deal with access. But I want you just to remember what a primary key is. And an example is an ID number, a student number, a bank account number. It is normally a number that will uniquely identify each record in a relational database, which is what we are working with. And a typical example would be your ID number that would identify you as a person. I'm not going to go into normalization today. What a relational database does. Retrieves the data from the tables? Yes, obviously. Common operations. And these are things that we can do between the tables. So if you have 10 tables in your database, what can we do with them? You don't need to understand this in great detail, but we can select from a table. We're going to do that. Select all the people that were born between such and such date. Project, join, intersect, union, join two tables together. What is the difference between two tables? The only one that we are going to use, guys, in Access is select. So select from employees, Smith. So that is an example of structured query language, which we will show you at a later stage. Components of a DBMS. Yes, you need to learn them. Is there a picture here? No, there is not a picture of it. Let's just have a look here. No, I unfortunately do not have a picture of the components of the database management system, but they are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the easy way to remember this is it's D, 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 A, D. It's like a very long DAD. So we have our database engine, which is the machine that processes the data. Data definition, which would be an example of text or currency or number. Data manipulation, which would be a query, what we do with it. We ask something of the database. We would query the database to get an answer out. Application generation, only in your big commercial enterprise scale databases would those databases actually be able to generate applications that would give you information. And then data administration, which is done by a data administrator, which is actually going to be a person. So that is the software components of a database. Data administration, for example, would handle security. Mr. Pretorius, are you monitoring the chat? Is there any question yet?
So I'm monitoring the chat. Nothing really much. Do I write today's date or Friday's date? You write today's date.
What about Friday?
No. Friday is another tutorial. That is another date. Today's date you write today. What else is there? Somewhere else? Are there audio slides? Perhaps? No, man. These slides are only
No, we
PowerPoint.
don't have audio slides.
I wish we had audio slides.
I wish we did have. Those would be very cool.
And very helpful and assist. Okay. Nothing else really,
don't worry,
sir.
Don't be scared of reading, guys. Reading. Okay, so then they give you in more detail on that. There's so many slides here. Data administration, you can read about what they do. Recent trends in database sites. If you are asked to speak about a recent trend, you can actually talk about databases that are used on the internet. And a very common one is called MySQL, which is freeware that you can download, and it's database software that you can use. Distributed databases, I had a question about that earlier. That's also a trend. Data-driven websites, no. Let's find a diagram. Object-oriented, I explained today in class, which is you writing in a computer language, and inside those objects that you create with computer language, you will store your data. It is not the most efficient way to store data. They are contained in a single object. If you look up object-oriented programming, it will help you a little bit there. Okay, data warehouses, we have discussed this. Data warehouse is the big one. Here we go. Yo, this is quite a drawing here. Do you have to know this drawing exactly as it is, or the diagram exactly as it is? No, you don't. Just be aware, you have your raw data. Where does it come from? Data mining, decision making, and reports. You will have your raw data. And they show data as a cylinder because of a hard drive has actually got cylinders inside it. It's got little round plates that they store the information on, and that's where these little the diagrammatic explanation comes from. Then we've got external data sources, we've got databases, transaction files, enterprise resources, CRM relationship management systems, where they would do surveys, for example. Were you happy with our service? What do you think of the following, and the following? I received a survey. I went into hospital yesterday and I received a survey from Discovery, the medical aid today, to ask me how their service was. And that is an example of a customer relationship management system that is doing a survey and doing data mining.
Service.
Yep. So you will have all of these individual things that are stored in a large database. So they're going to be collecting from all of these sources, extracting some information, storing it in a big database, and then you can have your analysis, your predictive and so on analyses. Input ETL, no. Storage, yes, you can read. Output, you can read. Output, you can read. There's talking about a lot of thing on output. Data marts, which are smaller, faster versions of a database. They're easier to make, and they are obviously less expensive. So data warehouse is the big one. Business analytics, I think I went so much into this today, but please be aware of the three kinds: descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. To just recap for you guys, I would like to ask you now, the student, type in the chat box. What is descriptive? What does it deal with, guys? Anybody? Somebody surely got to have an answer there. Mr. Pretorius, any answers there?
I'm not seeing anything here describing.
On the chat here. Okay.
Oh,
So descriptive reviews past events. Yes, thank you very much. Past
there we
and
go.
present events. So, but it's mostly
Someone is
past
taking note.
information.
Now we're rolling, Zulu.
There we go. Thank you. You are correct. Okay. And the next type of database, predictive, is obviously going to tell us what? So we look at the past and we try to do what?
Like forecasting, sir?
We'll try and predict the future.
Something in that line. Future information. Predicting.
You are future sales.
Prepare for
Mr.
future events.
Lungani,
Now
you have
we're
your hand up. Mr. Pretorius, hold on. Mr. Lungani has his hand up. Would you like to speak or ask a question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would like to speak. I asked a question on the table on the side. I wanted to know what about the types of database management. Do we necessarily need to know them, maybe, sir?
The types of database management systems, is that what you're asking?
Yes, sir.
No, I think as far as we go during the first year is that you would maybe want to give me some examples of the different products that are out there that could be used in an accounting context. And that would be Microsoft SQL Server or Oracle or IBM DB2. That's all, as far as we go.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Sure,
Okay,
my friend.
yes. This future information. Okay. And then prescriptive. That is going to tell you what, guys? The prescriptive analytic is going to do what to you as a manager? It's going to do what? Yeah, thank you. There we go. It's going to give us a course of action to take. So, for example, if we are doing some analysis, we are selling motor cars and we are having a look at our financial turnover here of this, we will actually drop the production of a certain motor car and take a course of action. And I'm going to give you a real life example at the moment. Ford, the motor company, is having a huge problem at the moment. They're stopping production of certain types of motor vehicle because of the microchips, the electronic microchips that they use inside the cars and inside the modules. There is a shortage of them. And they are having to, they can't buy it, so they can't make the car. And they're having to stop production. And you would have to look very carefully. You have 50 different models of car that you are making at 50 different prices, and you would want to know which one you would need to stop production of that is going to have the least impact on the company. And they would use a predictive BI or predictive analysis to give them a course of action and tell them which model is going to have the least impact there. Okay, I'm going to jump back to the slides. I think you guys have got a good idea of those three: descriptive, predictive, prescriptive. Sorry, prescriptive analysis, not predictive. Predictive just tells you the future. Prescriptive gives you a course of action. The business analytics, big data. Just be aware, very hard process.
Big data, very big thing, yeah. Database marketing is a record. No, I'm saying big data is it's a big thing, sir. It's like
It's huge. It's enormous. You can't even think of it. It's so big.
almost the word of mouth and the viral. It's such a hot topic. In other words, they're talking about big data, big data.
Too big to manage with computers. So what do?
There we go.
They talk. There are very specialized methods of doing that. It doesn't even form part of this course. Just the concept of big data is enough for first year. Multivariate analysis, reactive and proactive processes. You can read through this. I'm not going to take time on it now. We want to finish. Okay, Power BI. Homework, guys. I'd like you to go and have a look at Power BI and what is that piece of software? What does it do? What can it do for you? And especially tell me, you guys are accountants. What does it cost? And how can you justify the cost of this piece of software? It's a Microsoft platform. It analyzes and visualizes data. It uses different sources and different formats, and it integrates with existing data and Microsoft applications. And you would think, as an accountant, your staff would come to you, or managers would come to you and say to you, you are the company accountant. Can we go and buy Power BI? You tell us. You have a thought about that and tell us whether this is a good piece of software to buy, what it can do for the company, and are you going to have a decent ROI, return on investment, should you buy this piece of software? Many summaries here in the slides. Power BI, I'm going to finish off with that. So there's quite a few slides here that you can go through. I think we've covered the important aspects of it. I'm going to go back to the chat box. Okay, guys, your tutor session has been how long now? An hour and a half. Okay, there is another one coming on Friday. Mr. Pretorius, what are we covering on Friday during the tutor session?
Well, basically, sir, just also preparing for the class test. A little bit of Unit 1 emails and a Word document. You know, typing skills, alignment of papers, and revision again. You know, tutorial touch on chapter 1, 2, and 3, just to get them ready for the class test on Wednesday.
Okay, so we're talking about email, we're talking about Microsoft Word, we're talking about a bit of revision on the chapters that we've covered. I think what is the most important thing we are going to cover on Friday in the tutorial?
The one that will stand out is actually, maybe they can actually do some theory tests with him in responders on Friday.
Okay, your theory tests that are in Blackboard. I had a question earlier on WhatsApp. If you go to content, guys, and you go to your theory test, please do your theory test. There is one per chapter. Where are my
Go down,
theory
sir.
tests? Oh, we have to go searching, searching, down, 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 down.
All right, ho. Theory test submissions. One more, two more up, up, up. No, that's down, sir. Up. One up, one more. There we go. Theory tests.
Okay, students, you must become familiar. Even me as the lecturer, I struggle to find stuff on the side here. You need to be familiar with your Blackboard. Your Blackboard is where you're going to find everything. Instead of panicking and asking the question, where can I find this? Where can I find that? Where can I find the other thing? Take a look at Blackboard first. Okay, I go in here
And there
and
we
you
go.
will see you should have done 3 theory tests. There was a student that asked on the WhatsApp group, do we email these? Well, my answer to you is clearly you didn't go and look at it yet because you wouldn't be asking that question. It is online. So
That is,
we have just
I
done,
received the same question.
we have just done chapter 3. No? So I'm going to click on the chapter 3 theory test and have a look at the kind of questions that they're going to ask me. Multiple choice and true false. We can have a look at that one. There are 2 tests under chapter 3. One is essay questions and the other is true false. Let's have a look at the true false. Okay, there's some instructions here and you would click on, same as you do in other subjects, and I think specifically statistics does everything online. You would click on begin, same type of theory test. Question 1. One of the main applications of a database and database systems is database marketing. Is that true or false? I would say true. The data hierarchy. Now, hierarchy is, if you look at my computer, you have your C drive, and then underneath there you have some folders. And in those folders, you have other folders, and in those folders, you have other folders, and in those folders, you have other folders and files, and so on. And that is called a hierarchy. Is the structure and organization of data which involves fields, records, and files. Is that true or false? That one to me is true again. Question 3. In a data warehouse environment, that referring to ETL, it's a function of a data warehouse. Extraction, transformation, and language. Is that correct or not? Okay, I'm not going to answer this test for you. That's not my objective. Mobile analytics, using mobile phones. What is not a type of mobile analytics? You can have apps. You got to think about these questions, guys. Installation analytics, what would that be? No. Advertising and marketing, yeah, that's definitely going to be part of it. In-app, analyzing inside your apps that you got, yeah. The performance of the apps or what you're doing in the apps, yes. Installation analytics sounds like a lot of nonsense, so I would actually choose that. It's not a type of mobile analytics. So what I'm saying to you is, instead of just studying the subject and simple recall, there is a lot of thinking around these questions. You're going to have to think about what we're teaching you here, guys. Which is not among the 5 V's of big data. And we discussed this morning. Variance, value, variety, veracity, velocity. I know which one it is, but I'm not going to answer it here for you guys because it's a different word that means the same word that's here already. And I will tell you what that word is. It's actually veracity, but that's not giving you the answer to the question. And so on and so forth. You go through the, when you finished, you save and submit, and it will tell you, click OK to view the results. The OK is hidden nicely down here at the bottom. And we got 3 out of 6 points. Well, I only answered 3 questions, so I got them right. Obviously, I am the lecturer. So you would go to theory test 1, theory test 2, theory test 3. You should have done those 3 already. Let me go and find them again. Where are they? Mr. Pretorius, theory test submissions. Here we go. You would have done theory test 1, theory test 2, and theory test 3. They are online. They are very short, except the essay types. And why are we giving you work? Why are we giving you so much work? Not because we want to make life difficult. That's not what we do as lecturers. As lecturers, we are here to guide you guys. And the theory tests are there to help you prepare for the exam and the tests and to help you think around your subject. And how does this, I think one of the things that we haven't pushed too hard yet is how does what we are talking about relate to accounting? So I would like you to spend some time to ask yourself, when you're having a look at the notes, how does this affect me as an accountant? How does a data mart affect me as an accountant? What would I want to know from a data mart as an accountant? And when you go and do some research, you will find that your data mart or your data warehouse will give you that information that you need as an accountant, and use the accounting terms as well that you are picking up now already in financial accounting and so on. I'm going to finish off there. I think that basically what today is done in the tutorial, unfortunately we had load shedding, which caused some hassles, but Mr. Pretorius and I have jumped in, and it's just recovered chapter 3 and business intelligence and databases. So the main aspect of chapter 3 is business intelligence, databases, and the uses of databases, what we use them for. Mr. Pretorius, do you have anything you would like to say before we finish off this TUT for today?
I'm just glad that the students join. You know what I mean? Nothing to be, we are fine for now, semester 1, term 1. So as long as the students got those 3 chapters behind them and prepare and watch the videos and the tutorial, there will be one on Friday again. Then they should be prepared for next week, Wednesday, sir. Then we go on a short holiday. And then we all come back on the 28th. And then they write the April paper. We'll talk about that in the new term. So I'm happy for now, sir.
Okay, me too.
Thank
I just
you.
want to mention one thing. Students. You've got another tutorial coming up on Friday. I noticed earlier on when I joined this, the tutors are trying their best, but they're struggling a little bit because you guys are not answering. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. Even if your answer is wrong to a question, they're asking you questions. They're trying to get you to think there. Answer them in the chat box or answer them verbally, have a conversation and actually engage in meaningful discussion with the tutors. They are 2nd year and 3rd years. They have taken their time to help you guys as 1st years. Remember, they've been through this. So if they're asking you a question or if they prepared some slides for you and so on, you come back and you watch the video. But the objective of a tutorial is actually discussion. Not particularly what I have been doing in the last 20 minutes. It is discussion backwards and forwards between you and the tutors. So before you join Friday's tutorial, think of any questions that you may have that you would like to discuss with the tutors, and then hopefully we can do that. I think I'm going to end the recording. We're going to finish off here. Thank you everybody for joining, and I hope you have a great evening. Any last questions, guys? Anything about Friday? Anything about the test? Anything about the course? Verbal or chat box? No questions?
Nothing on my side. I see you, sir.
Nothing on my side. Okay, I think everybody's tired and they would like to finish. So let's finish off. Friday is the next one. The link is already in Blackboard there for you. So thank you everybody for attending. Have a great evening. Keep strong. Do your studying. Stick with your subjects. I know it's a lot, but you will be fine. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you.